So welcome back to Anglesey, and we see the grid for race number 2 with Blake Baldwin, Chandler being the front row of the grid with Gay and Simon Baldwin in row 2, Alan Henderson and Daniel Rogers, 7th place for Simon Goddard and 8th for Alex Preston. Rhys Jenkins and Brett Smith are 9th and 10th, with Charlie Charman and Alistair Topley 11th and 12th. Unlucky 13th for JJ Clements with Dan O'Connor in 14th, Wayne Lamonte and Tom Roach all the way down there in 16th. That's going to be an eye-opener. Stephen Craggs and Will Blackwell Chambers with Paul Bishop and Callum Edwards. 21st place for Chris Hart and JCE John Coburn Evans 22nd. Paul Tucker and Killer Kinghorn are 24th, with Dale Whiteman and Clive Powell's 26. 27 for Yiri Harlech and 28th for Paul Yeomans, with Tasker and Simpson 29th and 30th, and Atherton and Collins 31st and 32nd on this huge grid on the Anglesey Coastal Circuit. So here we go, lined up on the front row of the grid, Brian Chandler. Chandler has been very, very impressive throughout the course of this weekend. So can we see him get off this line and get a cracking start in this race? We are waiting the starters' orders. Bit of whistle blowing there from the marshals on the pit wall, trying to probably clear the pit wall so they can go through the start procedure. But here we go, Chandler and James Blake Baldwin. Blake Baldwin, the man of the meeting in the first race, and we're under starters' orders. The revs rising, away we go, and it's a pretty clean start from the front row of the grid as they tear down towards the first corner, and through the turn 1 they go. And everybody just trying to get through here. Very important that they just get through it and head on towards the banking. Turn number 2. Everybody trying to dive up the inside. It really does clog up on the inside there. And Ed Gay looks like he's going around the high side, and he's getting shown no room from Simon Baldwin there. Baldwin says definitely not, and almost forces Gay off the edge of the track. But Alan Henderson's now come underneath Ed Gay as they go through Church and head on towards, and they're all using a little bit energetic on the exit of that corner there. And driving standards were definitely an issue through qualifying and race number 1. Tom Roach paid the price for that, and Roach, you can see the green car mid-pack now. He's got a lot of work on his plate to get through the pack here. Rhys Jenkins side by side with Simon Goddard. Alex Preston getting shown no mercy whatsoever from hard charging and pressing Alan Henderson. Through the rocket section, we come on towards Peel now, past the marshal's post and the entrance to that corner. Rhys Jenkins, number 63 there, holding his own, doing quite a good job there as well in that orange car. A little bit of fluid maybe coming at the side of that, maybe a little bit too much fuel inside that. Marshall, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. If that gets on the back tyres, it's going to be pretty interesting for Jenkins. Through the corkscrew now, coming to click off the first lap. Everybody through in one piece and past the start finish box here. Race control on the left hand side, and through turn 1 Jenkins is under all sorts of pressure from number 90 Alan Henderson. Alan Henderson is an extremely quick man, as we are fully aware of. And as they come through the banking, Goddard, Simon Goddard, number 46 in the red car, ahead of Jenkins. And look at Henderson, he's so close to the back of Jenkins now, absolutely right tucked under that car as Gay runs a little bit wider. Ed Gay again running wide at that corner, and that's going to hurt his momentum all the way down this next straight, so he's really going to have to watch for that. Up towards the braking zone of Rocket, and it's Tom Roach upside on the inside of Henderson in the Blendini Motorsport car now. One asks, was that an overtaking move or did, oh good grief, Callum Edwards across the track and absolutely collects Dan O'Connor. A huge accident at the Rocket section track, and that was extremely nasty. The front of Dan O'Connor's car absolutely destroyed. Dan O'Connor waving his hands about, basically trying to hopefully say that he's signalling he's okay. Well, what a scary accident. The red flag's coming out for that one straight away. Marshall's quickly getting on the scene. And what happened there? What forced Callum Edwards to go off the track? And look at that. Such is the strength of these cars. Thankfully, Dan O'Connor didn't rattle himself off the inside of that roll cage too much. He steps out and walks away from that car and doesn't even have a limp. Out come the BRSCC rescue unit, which is filled with doctors and trained technicians to get people out of these cars if they're trapped in. But thankfully, both drivers walking away from that, but that was a frightening incident at the Rocket section of the track. Callum Edwards spearing across the grass here. We're going to hand down to my colleague Bryn Lucas in the pit lane. who's got a word with Callum.
Right, Callum, it was a really short race for you. I know it's quite a shocking one for you. How was it?
Well, not good, obviously. It was pretty scary because I got to about 104 and my brakes stopped, so there was 20 cars in front of me, a building to my right. I had nowhere to go, really.
So it's brake failure, complete brake failure?
Yeah, just at the end of the straight, put my foot down and there was just nothing there. So
it's not a massive runoff on that point either, is it? It's not like you can just sort of try and coast as much as you can.
Well, there's no runoff where I was because there's a line of cars in front of me, so there was really nowhere to go. I had to go left to try and get it onto the grass and slow it down a bit. I think I was airborne and just sort of went over the top of Dan's car, which is why his car's so torn up. So I think we're quite lucky that it wasn't more serious.
It's sort of testament to the cars. I mean, yeah, his car is a bit bashed up, but the cockpit's all fine.
Yeah, I think if I'd hit him here, maybe it would have been a bit different because I went over his bonnet. It's quite lucky, really. Could have been a lot worse for him.
It's all kind of part of the learning curve in racing, I suppose, isn't it? So what can you take on? Hopefully you'll be able to start the final race, but you know, if not, you still have to bounce back for next time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a bit hard going out there if I'm not sure whether my brakes will break. So unless we can figure out what it was that went wrong, I don't know if I'll go back out because you know someone could get really hurt if that happens again.
Yeah, well, good luck hopefully if you go out. Good luck with it, and you know, have a little bit of a rest and see if you can calm your nerves down a bit because I bet they're sort of shaking a bit.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, but I think it was a bit more worrying for my mum and dad, to be honest. So
it's always the way, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, good luck and well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Bryn and Callum in pit lane. There's shades of Grosjean and Alonso at Spa there with the car almost hitting the driver's compartment, but we're racing again. Anglesey, such is the quickness of the marshals to clear up that incident. And once again, Chandler getting the jump off the start, holding his own round the outside of the turn one, and he takes the lead as he and James Blake Baldwin head towards the banking section of the track. Simon Baldwin, Ed Gay, Alan Henderson, all still right in the mix. But the big winner on that one is Tom Roach. Tom Roach in the middle of that gaggle of cars coming towards you now. Well, he's managed to get himself a second bite of this. A good start is what you need in these one-make series, and you can see Roach, he's tucked in there. Henderson goes very wide, as does Jenkins. That's going to hurt their momentum down the back straight. 3 wide in front of Tom Roach here. Preston gets a good slingshot. Look at Tom Roach round the outside, using all the road and a bit more. He's got past Henderson, and he's going to have Brett Smith on the brakes as well. Wow, Tom Roach really making hay while the sun shines here. He's up the inside of Charlie Charman, and he's already thinking about the back of Alex Preston. What a drive on the first lap by Tom Roach. Really killer instincts, just a bit like John Killer Kinghorn there. And Roachy makes a lot of places up on that first lap. He'll be a happy man in that Blendini Motorsport car after his first race antics. He's got past Charlie Charman now, so he's far off the attentions of that 42 car. Cracking first lap. The other drivers are all running wide. He's capitalising and making up lots of positions. Brett Smith, one of the guys to go under the cosh. Alex Preston now, he'll be looking in his mirror thinking, no way, Tom Roach, you were 16th on the grid and you're now behind me. A little bit of an ominous feel in this race as Roachy might be back to his best. Through turn one, we're looking at Brett Smith in the number 39 car there. A little bit lively in the first race. Brett, that car looked a little bit loose underneath him. Didn't look like it had the out and out grip which the rest of these guys have had. And already past Alex Preston, it's Tom Roach. Wow, Tom Roach has really got the hammer down here as they go through Church. The next man ahead of him, the Blink Motorsport car, number 46, Simon Goddard. And again, Simon Goddard doing the same thing, unbelievable. In his mirror is that green Blendini car as they head up towards the rocket section of the track where we saw that terrifying incident with Callum Edwards and the poor Dan O'Connor. Callum Edwards could possibly get his car fixed if they fix the brake issue, which definitely needs seen to. Brake failure at 100 miles an hour heading towards that part of the track where, as Bryn Lucas rightly said, not a lot of runoff. And look at that, Tom Roach slides alongside, clean as you like, gets alongside Simon Goddard. And the next man in his sight is number 70, Daniel Rogers. Having said that, he's on the wrong side of the track here. Goddard fights back as they come down the hill in towards the corkscrew section of the track, past the marshal's post on the inside, dropping from you all the time through here. And that's how quick a lap at Anglesey goes. Great, cracking little circuit here in Wales. Bryn Lucas will be feeling quite at home, I can guarantee you, down in that pit lane interviewing some of these drivers. But Roach now, is he going to have a look at the inside? Yes, he is. He's late on the brakes. He sticks it in the inside. There's a bit of banking on that corner, so it does help the cars get through there and frees them up on the exit of the corner to use all the tracks. So the next guy, Daniel Rogers, you're in the Blendini Motorsport firing line, firing range, if you could say, as they come through Church. Now Tom Roach will be on a mission here. He'll be feeling good in that car. He'll be feeling positive, but look at the speed of that Blink Motorsport car, almost pushing him along the bottom straight as they climb back up into Rocket. Look how quick Roach comes into view there. Yes, we're going about Tom Roach quite a bit, but we've got to. He's the defending champion. He's a man at work here. Absolutely class act in this car. Started 16th, already up into the top 5. As we come through Peel, Daniel Rogers will be seeing the green car getting ever bigger in his mirrors as he goes downhill now from here all the way downhill right back to the start-finish line. Rogers seeing the green Blendini Motorsport car getting bigger and bigger. Ahead we've got Ed Gay still locked in a battle with Simon Baldwin, and Brian Chandler's and James Blake Baldwin locked together in the first 2 positions. You can see the infield section here, the couple of variations of circuit which we can offer at Anglesey, but the coastal circuit is the one which we are on today. Rhys Jenkins getting a little bit out of shape there. Rhys Jenkins using a little bit more track than needed. Henderson thinks he's going to capitalise. Brett Smith's in the middle as well. It's very, very close. Are they going to have enough room in the exit of the corner? Just. My lord is the answer. So Alan Henderson trying to make a couple of positions up there. Again, Brett Smith looking like he's working that little MX-5 harder than most people out there on the track just now as we head along bottom straight opposite the pits here and start to climb all the way back up towards Rocket. Is Jenkins going to have a look at the inside? Yes, he is. A quality move there, but Jenkins gets it done nice and early and forces Charman to give up the position. Didn't give him a chance to cut back through the second part of the Rocket section. Now is Brett Smith going to get past Charlie Charman? No, but I tell you, Alan Henderson goes straight up the inside of Brett Smith. What a cracking manoeuvre that really was. Ever the attacker Alan Henderson, but Brett Smith's the man who's not going to take it lying down. Henderson tries to fight him down. He does. He goes into the corner pretty hot. Is he going to keep his line as the cars drop away here? He is. Cracking bit of driving from Alan Henderson there. And there's JJ Clements. Now we saw JJ Clements take a race win, remember, at Rockingham, the very first race we televised this year. Jonathan JJ Clements was our race winner, and good to see him getting back to some sort of form. Having said that, Tom Roach took over from the win stake after Rockingham, as we see Henderson going past it. A good move on Charman, nice and clean. And at the last round at Snetterton, we've got to remember it was all about the number 2 car, James Blake Baldwin, who's not getting much TV time just now. Such is the ferociousness of this battle mid-pack here. This is Ed Gay, and we are looking at Simon Baldwin as we come up the hill. Down he goes, Baldwin's defending. Gay stays on the outside. He's trying to think about having a cut back here, but it's not going to work for Ed. He's looking, he's thinking, he's trying, because he can see the green car homing in pretty quickly. Is he going to get a run out here? Can he get by on the inside in towards Peel? Simon Baldwin, a very quick man. By no means a pushover, but Gay is trying to come underneath him. The only problem is going underneath him there. He's then on the outside or the bottom of the hill as he come in towards the corkscrew ring. A little bit wide there is Simon Baldwin, but he manages to hold off the advancing white and green car, Ed Gay. And look at the other green car coming back in. Now Ed Gay's going to be seeing this, his mirror there. A big look at his mirrors. He can see the Blendini car, and he will know, he'll feel the presence of that green car in his mirrors now. Let's see how much you see the eyes lift up towards the rearview mirror on Ed Gay's car. Is he more thinking and concentrating about getting past? Oh, a little bit of turn and oversteer there. You can see the back of the car just breaking free as you want to turn into the corner. Never the best thing. Maybe just on a little bit of a trailing brake there, covering the brake pedal as he was turning in. Looks great, but ultimately it's not what you're wanting. He gets a good run through this corner. Now he's right in the slipstream. Where's he going to go? Where is he going to go? He sits right behind him. Is he going to have a look as we climb back up towards Rocket on the inside? Baldwin can see that happening. He's covering the middle of the road, but not to be in this lap. Ed Gay just stays in behind him, but look how much Tom Roach has caught him over the course of this lap. Roach right onto the back bumper of Ed Gay, and we've got to remember that Tom Roach started down 16th position. So what has happened? He has cut through the field, oh dear, like a hot knife through butter. There you go, I said it. I was going to always say that. Somebody along the line as Ed Gay has a little look at the back of Simon Baldwin as they come back down the hill in towards the last couple of corners through the corkscrew section of the track. Baldwin now doesn't look like he has the proper race pace to hold these two guys off. They're starting to stack up behind him. It's a 15-lap race though, so he doesn't want to be making too many mistakes and letting people past him, because he could possibly hold them off round here for those 15 laps. Meanwhile, at the front, JJ Clements. No, it's not JJ Clements, it's James Blake Baldwin. I was always going to get that wrong somewhere along the line. Same colour of car. Through the banking they come, chased hard by Brian Chandler. Great showing this weekend at Anglesey by Brian Chandler, but just starting to drift off the back as we go on board with him. He's had problems with that mirror all weekend actually. He needs to get the bolt tightened up underneath that, or stop using as much exit curb. Swinging the pedals, the feet as well, a little bit of heel toeing as he goes onto the brake pedal, uses the clutch and blips the throttle with his right foot there. Lovely little bit of driving. And has Roach got past? Yes, Roach looks like he's got past Ed Gay. He's going to be fighting on the outside. Can he get the Blendini car round the outside? Or is Ed Gay going to say no, Tom? But if he can hang on round the outside of this, that's going to help him in 2 corners time, but he gets past Ed Gay. Ed Gay almost lifted out the throttle there and made that a little bit easier for Tom Roach. And is Ed Gay thinking, well, if they're going to start battling with Simon Baldwin, yes, I'm going to cover back the inside and gate as we go in towards the corkscrew area of the circuit. Good bit of thinking driving by Tom Roach there. He comes off the brake pedal and just says no to Ed Gay. So, Ed Gay drops a position and he's now chasing the Blendini car. He knows there's nobody behind him for a couple of seconds. So can Tom Roach get past Simon Baldwin, and can he possibly open up the door for Ed Gay? As Ed Gay gets a really nice tight line through there. Now let's watch the car this time and see if it goes a little bit leery on turn in. No oversteer, no correction on the steer wheel this time, as through the corner they come. Daniel Rogers behind Ed Gay in the blue number 70, and he's chased hard by Simon Goddard as we run right out towards the exit curve in the grass there before we come flying back along the bottom. Now is Roche going to have a shot at his favourite overtaking manoeuvre? Baldwin was a bit late to defend. Oh, Baldwin squeezes him. This is going to be tight at Rocket. Are they going to get through? Roche runs him right out to the edge of the circuit, and Ed Gay capitalises also. Well, Simon Baldwin had to fight that as much as he could. They were side by side with Simon Baldwin and Ed Gay's car on the inside of us, so a little bit of turn oversteer, but we've obviously got past. We can see the blue car just in his mirror there, the blue car with the white stripe. So Tom Roach absolutely ruthless, cutting through the field there. No contact, but just gave Simon Baldwin absolutely nowhere to go. You can see the side of the Blendini car still clean, no tyre marks, no NASCAR donuts. And Tom Roach is absolutely fired up for this race. Obviously getting the 5-second penalty and the 30-second penalty in race 1 has ignited a fire inside the Blendini Motorsport driver, and he means business. The 30-second penalty was for not obeying a drive-through penalty, and the 5-second penalty was for exceeding track limits. So Tom Roach has come out fighting, and the rest of the MX-5 field have seen just what the defending champion can do as they come around the back end of the circuit now, through Church Corner, very fast right. We go back up to our leader, James Blake Baldwin, and he's got a big enough mirror in that car that he will possibly start to see the incoming green one. There'll be sections of the circuit where he can have a little look over his shoulder, and he'll be thinking, surely not, is that Tom Roach coming? So here we come through Peel. First place for James Blake Baldwin, second place for Brian Chandler, third on the road now for Tom Roach, and it really has been an absolutely cracking race. As we watch them go through the final corner, clicking off another lap past the start finish. Once again back on board with Brian Chandler. James Blake Baldwin, since Snetterton, well, he's really got his act together. He was very, very dominant in the heat of Snetterton, the very flat, fast Snetterton, the 300 circuit that they were using at the time. And he's moved up to Wales here in Anglesey, and he is showing that his class, and look at that mirror again, rearview mirror, will he fix it? Yep, there we go, right on cue. Brian Chandler fixes the rearview mirror in his car. He really is needing to get a mechanic to fix that. The number 76 car there. Lovely little bit of heel towing from Brian Chandler. And here we pick back up with Tom Roach and Ed Gay as they come through the rocket section of the track. Now Ed Gay's, Tom Roach's challenges almost kind of halted it a little bit. He's not cutting through the pack just as quickly as we would have expected. But here comes down the hill James Blake Baldwin in that number 2 car. Chased hard by this man with the ailing rearview mirror. Brian Chandler, once again, we see his feet dancing on the pedals there. Nice and smooth on the throttle pedal, smooth application. Smooth on the brakes as well, but devilishly quick is Brian Chandler. As we hear him going through the first corner there. Absolutely no mercy. These little MX-5s get driven absolutely on the limit. Alistair Topley there, just behind JJ Clements. Alistair Topley in the kind of purplish car, number 49. And he's behind Brett Smith, the first blue car in that train. Brett Smith, who's always on the limit, always driving extremely hard. We've seen him a little bit out of shape and maybe driving a little bit too hard and using up a bit of tyre life early in the race. And that does seem to hurt him towards the end of the race. So he's going to have to watch his rear view mirror now, because these 2 cars behind him are going to be charging all the way. JJ Clements, Jonathan JJ Clements, somebody who's trying to rediscover a bit of form. But we do see the novice cross on the back of JJ Clements' car there. The yellow cross with the yellow background with the black cross. That signifies that he is a new driver in his first year of racing, and wow, what a baptism of fire he's had this year. Straight into the MX-5 Championship, he's alongside Brett Smith, but Smith's on the inside. Is Smith going to run right here? A little bit of smoke coming out the number 39 car. Alistair Topley thinks of having a go at the inside of Clements, but thinks better of it. And now Topley is just getting alongside the half wall of the car. He's through. He goes past as they go into peel. Clements tries to cut back underneath him. And these 2 battling away quite hard. And all that does is release and let off the hook Brett Smith. They're still side by side as they come in towards the corkscrew section of the track. And finally they get through. No change in position, but you can see that's really let Brett Smith off the hook there. And it has released him and given him just a couple of seconds breathing space now. As we go through the first corner, head towards the banking, past the marshal and the entrance to that corner. Now, a good crowd in here at Anglesey this weekend. You can park your car right up on the banking, and a couple of houses close by in the background as well, giving you, if you're a motorsport enthusiast, you would want to have one of those houses. A lot of development work's gone on here at Anglesey over the years. Really is a fantastic facility now, as these guys come through church and head up toward the rocket section of the track. Brett Smith just off the hook now. Is Topley going to have a look at the inside of Clements? No, because Clements was defending there, and it looked like he had that one covered all the way up the hill, so no real danger for him whatsoever. A couple of messages popping up on the screen, the timing screen in front of us. A 5-second penalty. 5-second penalty for track limits, and that's getting given to Rhys Jenkins so far, and also Charlie Charman. Drivers under investigation, Brett Smith and Paul Bishop, with Yuri Horalek also having to watch what they're doing. So race control are watching these drivers. So maybe a little bit too energetic with the exit curb and the amount of grass he can take there. James Blake Baldwin puts somebody a lap down there as they go into church, and the back marker stays well away because Brian Chandler is on a mission now. Chandler, here he comes. Rearview mirror again. Thank you, Brian. You'll fix that as they come up towards the rocket section of the track. We're on board. Look at the foot on that throttle pedal. Absolutely flat, buried into the floor. And Chandler has brought the gap down quite a lot at the front, so that means James Blake Baldwin's maybe going to have to start defending. And is that going to let Tom Roach start to catch up? We shall soon find out. He's leading to come through Peel. They've got a big enough lead over Tom Roach. It's going to take some doing for Roachy to catch up with these two. But here we go through the corkscrew section. Is Chandler going to have is he going to have a lunge, or is he going to make a manoeuvre rather than having a lunge? Because look at the speed of Chandler coming onto the straight here, right up the back. of our leader, James Blake Baldwin. So this is where it could all happen. This could be the one. Oh, a little bit of movement in the steering wheel there for Chandler as we come through the banking over the apex curb on inside. Does that compromise his driving exit? No, he gets a gear quite quickly off the corner. He'll be gaining and building momentum all the way through here. Another very quick gear change. Just feathering the throttle there, a bit of apex curb, then hard back on the gas now on the exit of the corner. You can see the foot sinking to the floor. Fix the rearview mirror, Brian. Thank you very much, because you've got a green car somewhere behind you. But look at the draft now taking place. Right up to the back. Oh, and just nudges into the back of him just to say hello. James Blake Baldwin will know he's there. He will not be needing that little reminder. And if that doesn't get the heart pumping, nothing will. Through the rocket section of the track. Oh, there's a problem there for James Blake Baldwin. Did he brake? Was there a brake test or did he just miss a gear? But there's quite a lot of contact between these two drivers now. Blake Baldwin getting pushed all the way round by Brian Chandler. Now is James Blake Baldwin trying to hold him up and bring Tom Roach to the party? Because look at Roach. He's absolutely flying here. He's taking chunks out of him on this lap. And James Blake Baldwin getting pushed all the way round by Brian Chandler. Chandler will know what's happening here. It's not his first rodeo. He'll be fully aware of what's happening as we dive past the tail ender going through the first corner there. So quickly we couldn't even get a visual on that car as they went through. On towards the banking. Chandler aware of the tactics that Blake Baldwin is maybe up to here. And there's Roach, and he's brought Ed Gay along with him as well. Side by side now. We'll have to think, has James Blake Baldwin possibly got some sort of issue? Because he turns in side by side through Church is a very, very brave manoeuvre. Brian Chandler this time, is he going to have to fix that rearview mirror? He's going to have to start watching it, because somewhere or another Tom Roach is about to come round. Look at Roach on the inside. We see him on the mirror there. Tom Roach absolutely steams past, gets one of them. Can he get two? There's a little bit of contact in the braking area, but Roach gets himself round Brian Chandler. Ed Gay tries to go round the exit as well, but he gets shown no mercy. Brian Chandler runs him right out to the edge of the track, and Roach is into second. He ups up the back, so Blake Baldwin must have some sort of issue there, because Roach now takes the lead in towards the peel section of the track. James Blake Baldwin is a little bit lame through there. Ed Gay's now all over the back of him, so it's gone horribly wrong for these two at the front. There's definitely an issue with that number 2 car, because they've both been leapfrogged by the number 1 car and the number 14 car. Roach hits the front. Ed Gay's now in second place. James Blake Baldwin with a possible ailing car down in third, but it's a checker flag, and it's all happened on the last lap, and Tom Roach takes an absolute stormer of a race win there. He will be absolutely over the moon with that, to come from 16th on the grid to take the win. A well-deserved drive of a champion, and out the window comes the saluting arm of Tom Roach, waving to the marshals, absolutely delighted, and a well-deserved win. Ed Gay gets a fantastic drive into second place, and James Blake Baldwin just holds on for third. And poor old Brian Chandler, he done all the hard work, drafted back up toward James Blake Baldwin, and then got mugged. Wrong place, wrong time on the last lap there. So let's have a look at the official results. Tom Roach is your winner from Ed Gay, and James Blake Baldwin runs out the podium. Brian Chandler with Daniel Rogers and Simon Goddard. Alan Henderson with Alex Preston, Simon Baldwin, and in 10th place, Rhys Jenkins.